I didn't have a job. I was running around the streets and doing naughty things. And I was waiting round for something to hit me in the face and go, here you go. And when you're scrolling on social media and someone's flashing a lifestyle that you want, or not even so much if you don't want Lamborghinis and stuff, but a more comfortable freedom of a lifestyle.
Do you think money buys happiness?
Chasing a Lamborghini is not going to make your life. It's not. I realised when I hit the money, I wasn't happy.
No. What is the one phrase that has always helped you, or the one phrase that you would tell to your younger self or to someone starting in business?
It's when it's scary to jump. Not just stay in the same place forever. And I think that is the biggest one because too many people are scared to jump.
Welcome on, Ben. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate the time. You've flown over from Dubai for this. So how's life treating you over there at the moment?
Good, very good.
Yeah.
It's been very busy over there. I think over there it's very different to the UK.
It is.
Very different to the
100%.
UK.
Very different.
Obviously weather.
Yeah.
One. But I think the mindset. The mindset of everyone over there.
Yeah, I mean, what would you say about the mindset of people in, not even just Dubai, but I think it's more to do potentially something with the UK, because I notice it when I'm in America a lot, or I'm in Dubai, or anywhere else, that people seem to be a lot more hungry and driven. The UK seems to be quite far behind. So what would you say about people's mindset at the moment, in your experience with Dubai compared to obviously when you were running a business in the UK?
Well, I mean, you've cracked it on the head there, if I'm honest. It's the mindset of hunger, wanting to succeed, I think it is. I think, as you said there, I think it's the perfect way to put it is the UK is so far behind now, I think. Yeah. Whereas, I think back in years ago, UK was one of the leading countries in the world. Whereas I think Dubai, I mean, I obviously employ people in the UK and in Dubai. And in Dubai, you can just tell that people want to succeed. They really, really do. And it's the effort they put in, the turning up, the wanting to learn. I think the open-mindedness of them and just wanting to take your experience in. Whereas I think the UK can be quite arrogant. They think they know when they don't know.
It's also like, from what I see, I don't know what your experience is with it, because obviously you still do have a business in the UK, so it'd be interesting to hear your take. But I think sometimes people in the UK they do get handed things quite a lot, and it's kind of expected. Whereas, from America and Dubai, if people don't work, their asses off, they don't have anything. They don't have a house. They don't have, money. They can't support their families. And a lot of people go to those places, especially like Miami or Dubai, to make a much better life for themselves and generate a lot of revenue. I think in the UK, obviously you have people that are trying to make a lot of money, but a lot of them are moving abroad now. But a lot of the time with things like employee rights, which obviously is a good thing. Obviously you want your staff to be protected, but I think there's a certain point where, it goes too far in the favor, where it then kind of can make a generation feel like, oh, well, I don't really need to do anything, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely agree. I think this one thing I've come across, especially in the UK, is it's more for the employee than it is the employer, which I think you're right there. I think every employee needs to be protected, but to a level. Yeah. And I think now they're very overprotected. I think that it's very easy in the UK they're very entitled, let's say. And I think it's very easy for them to play. For example, I've had it in my UK businesses. Yeah. They can literally call a doctor and say, I'm struggling with mental health. And trust me, I've got mental health. And, there's many people in this country have mental health. And, I'm a very big advocate for it. But I think people abuse that here in the UK. Yeah. And because they've mentioned that word there, they can, and let's say they've had discrimination stuff against this mental health just because a lot of people here are seshing in the UK and partying on a weekend and then they've got to come down on a Monday and don't want to go to work, then they can go in and put a complaint in for discrimination and they're going straight to a tribunal. It's costing you as a business £30,000-40,000 before you've even hit the court.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I mean, I want to touch on what's your experiences with that. Have you had any sort of issues with, employees and stuff, whether that's in the UK or Dubai? Like, what's some of the things that have kind of happened?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously we've been in the UK running for about 5 years now. In the early stages of the business, yes, we did. I think because of inexperience within business and not knowing all the the routes to go, basically.
Yeah.
But what we've done now is cover ourselves very quickly and very well now. But I think the experiences we've had, we've had people trying to, just because they weren't happy with something within the business, they've put in grievances against us, were complete lies, complete lies. And one thing I work is very honestly, and I rode it all the way. I did, and I ended up getting kicked out and stuff anyway. But I've had it before. I've had a kid who took a month off work and just never kept turning in. And then we ended up releasing him when he come back to work. And it turned out he then put a discrimination for disability against us because for ADHD. I'm riddled with ADHD. Yeah. So, and he'd basically been diagnosed the day before. We weren't even aware. Don't get me wrong, it got kicked out. Yeah. But this is what I mean. And we spoke to our solicitors and stuff. She goes, take it all the way. Really? She goes, I want to see you sat in front of a judge and then speak to you against him because you are literally the billboard of ADHD. Yeah. And it's just like, this is what I'm saying is it's very easy in the UK for them to get away with everything they want.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. I think it's difficult because it just goes to a certain level, doesn't it? Where obviously you want people to be protected and have the rights they need, but I think it goes to a certain point where it does become too much. So no, it's interesting. And I
think they're abusing it. I think they're abusing it for the people who actually do need it. And I think eventually it will change. Yeah. And I think it'll probably go too far the other way again, like I really do, because there's too many people now abusing it, where now UK businesses are only wanting to hire white, straight men because of this reason, because they're so scared to be able to court into a tribunal or a court case where they have no option but to pay somebody out.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. It's difficult, and it's not a situation you want to be in as a company director. So, obviously you've been on social media for, probably about 6-7 months now.
Yeah.
And how have you kind of been finding it so far? Obviously social media can be very toxic at times. And how's it kind of been?
I think definitely toxic's definitely a word to use for it. I think the weird thing about social media is I'm out here trying to do a good thing. Yeah. I'm out here trying to help other people who have been in the same situation that I've been, bad upbringings, not had good education, could be addicted to drugs, bad mental health or anything and stuff like that. And people want to tear it down. Like, people are tearing into people who are trying to help people. Now, I understand that's potentially because there's many other people on social media who have abused and used these kind of things just to gain money, true value, and, fake courses and stuff that are going out there where they're preying on vulnerable people to help them, and that they're gaining from that. And I get why this is some of it is, but I think people need to do their research on the people that they've been toxic to. I think people are very quick to
make their minds up. At the moment, there's been a massive boom in the whole course seller. Yeah, I think it's actually a really interesting topic to sort of talk about, because I think people are doing well from it. I commend people.
There's people making millions from it.
Like TJR, Brez Scales, like they're killing it. But obviously, most of the money they're making is coming from courses that the people thinking they're buying something that's going to teach them how to make money. They're the people who are producing the revenue for them most of the time.
I agree.
I think, some of them, they do have an actual skill and they've actually used a skill and then they're selling something. But there is a lot, not necessarily those two, but there's a lot of other ones out there that are on the smaller side. They don't have that big of a following. They've probably never had a business, but they're selling a course. And while I commend people, taking initiative, starting a business and selling something is great, it really depends on what it is and what impact it has, because there has been problems before I've seen with people spending all their money and getting into really bad situations with their mental health, or doing worse because they've spent all their money on a course thinking it's going to change their life and they can have the Lamborghini and everything and then they can't. I think it's, do you think it's quite dangerous in a way?
I think it's very dangerous. I nearly got trapped in it myself. I was a single dad, not, no education, trying to work every day, grinding my ass off. And when you're scrolling on social media and someone's flashing a lifestyle that that you want, or not even so much if you don't want Lamborghinis and stuff, but a more comfortable freedom
what,
of a
I think
lifestyle.
It's actually really, I think it's almost like, you remember, well, it's still happening, but it was very big in the 2010s to the, well, now it's still ongoing, but you always had with girls would be comparing themselves to girls on social media, which was dangerous because you'd have, a girl who might be good looking. They might be, a normal looking, attractive girl who everybody would like. But they're comparing themselves to these people on social media with fake everything.
Yeah.
And it is extremely dangerous. And I think
And
now,
even Photoshop and things like that.
things like that, and AI now, it is dangerous for girls in that sense. And I think now boys are having their turn.
Yeah.
Because most people in the younger generation I know, or people I know on social media, they've all, people who are trying it on the come up, or even just, family, little kids in the family, nephews, nieces, whoever. They all see this stuff on social media and they think, I want this. Why can't I have this? What can I do to get, a Lamborghini? What can I do to get, the Rolex at 18 years old? And it's like, you don't need that. That's not what happiness is. But I think it is dangerous. And I do think it is very similar to the whole thing that has happened with girls comparing themselves.
It is. You're right. And to be honest, I didn't really look at it in that way. And it is. And it's completely switched to the other gender. And I think it is. I think now, especially with the way social media is, and you're seeing all these guys in the Lamborghinis, like as a man, a young boy, basically.
You want that.
Yeah, you want it. But I think there's almost pressure on you you aren't anybody unless you are that. And I think that is the biggest thing that you need to take from this, and especially young lads, is you don't need that to be somebody. And it's almost you're buying a personality. Yeah. You're not actually being who you are. And I think, look, like I've done the Lamborghini in Dubai and stuff like that, and and things like that because of fun and to experience Dubai. When I first went there, and I think this is one of the biggest things I learned was, especially even with my son, even a relationship previously before, I chased money so hard, thinking that was the right thing to do to provide for my son, the family and everything, which is the right thing to do, and that's why I'm still doing it today. But I almost lost a relationship through it. I almost, I don't spend as much time as I'd love to spend with my son because of it. I think I think that's what people need to realize, that chasing a Lamborghini is not going to make your life. It's not. I realized when I hit the money, I wasn't happy.
No. Do you think money buys happiness?
No, I don't think it buys happiness, but I think it makes life a lot more comfortable. I think a lot of things in relationships, and I think this is it, is a lot of arguments around money, a lot of arguments around being comfortable in a relationship. And I think it depends on the person. Like, I know somebody, okay, this is Alf's mum's father, who is not bothered one thing about money or anything like that. And he's probably the most happiest man that you'll ever see in your life. Yeah. Like, honestly, he is. He is, like, I was literally with him at the weekend, and he is the most happiest man that you'll ever meet. And he doesn't have worries. He just rides through life. Yeah. He's very free spirit. And honestly, I would love to have that, but it's just not the way I work, unfortunately. And I know what I want. I want freedom and stuff like that as well. I want to set Alf's kids up and their kids, and because I grew up with nothing and struggling, and I just don't want them to do it. Which is, I believe that's my goal and my mindset for the future. Yeah. That's his, and I think everyone's different, but I think you need to find your own. I think that's where a lot of people don't.
I think the most dangerous thing is young kids thinking they have to do something now. Because, I mean, I've always been hungry for doing, not necessarily success, but to have my own stuff. It was never really about, I want £1 million or, all of this stuff. It was just about, I don't want to work for someone. Yeah. And I always, since I was like 12, always set myself a goal, I will never work for someone in my life. And I never did, ever. Yeah, and that was always my goal. It was never about how much money can I make today. And I think this is what the younger generation need to understand. It's like, if you want to do something yourself and you want to be your own boss, it takes time. Yeah, and you're going to be working for years without earning a penny to get to that success, which is fine, but it's a grind. And the money will come afterwards. I think when people focus too much and fixate on the money, it kills them. 100%. And I think that, especially the younger generation now, seeing all these things on social media, like we just said, they tend to think it's easy to do. And as you said, they feel like they're left behind then, because you've got, 13-year-olds now, which is insane. It used to be, 13-year-olds, it was bad if they were watching, bad videos and stuff, which it still is. But now it's like all the I mean, there's like 10-year-olds on social media with accounts, I've seen it, that are posting about business.
Yeah.
Like, good on you, lad, but why are you doing that? Like, deep down, do you really enjoy it and are grinding away because you love what you do and you really enjoy it? If you do, good on you. Or do you kind of not really enjoy it, but you're doing it because that's the norm of what people on social media are saying to do now? Where I think I haven't been in a school obviously for years, but I could imagine now the majority of conversations are all about money and success.
Yeah, 100%.
With, oh, does your dad have a Lambo? Oh, do you have this? And there's probably a few kids in that school who are now trying to make money, which great, as I say, it's not a bad thing at all. It's great people taking initiative, but the reason matters. If you've been forced into it by thinking you're going to get a Lambo in 1 year's time, and then you don't get that, that's quite damaging, potentially.
Yeah, it is. And I think, we live in a very fast-paced world now, and it is about all you take. I mean, I was speaking to someone literally the other day about it, about when I was younger, everyone wanted to be a bricklayer, a plumber, an electrician. You went to college, and you wouldn't, if you'd become one of them and obviously started working for somebody else and, growing up, did your own business, that was the way you made money. But then obviously social media came along, which has just changed the whole dynamic of the whole world, whole world. And I think also social media changed the dynamic, and obviously a lot of influences and things came, but I also think COVID changed the whole dynamic too, because it made it so digital that people who were doing social media and people who were doing digital things exploded. Because of that, because people couldn't physically go to work at the time. The whole world stopped.
I think 2020 was a big time. It was a massive shift in a load of different areas because you have, I mean, even now, I think we're reaping the rewards and negatives from it. I think, as you say, there's social media. I mean, 2020 was great in terms of social media. For me, that's when I sort of took off on there originally. I could dedicate time to it. It was good in some ways for business, but in other ways, I think it did destroy, like, the in-person lifestyle of business.
It did destroy.
Where, people like even my business partner in the UK, he had, 10, 15 people working for him in the UK, and COVID came, gone. And now I think people don't want to work in an office. I mean, I don't know what your experience is with it. We've got people there's a couple that love to come in a couple times a week, but the majority of people now, they want to work from home, which, is fine, but
if you're productive, it's fine.
I mean, it has killed productivity in a way where it depends on the sort of person you were.
I agree.
If you were a slacker,
then
you wouldn't really do that much at work, but you had your boss leaning over you, whipping you and saying, do this, and you were fine. Working from home, you're cooked. And these people aren't doing anything. If you were a hard worker anyway, I think it doesn't make a difference. And that's, why you kind of want to incentivize these people. But
I do agree with that. I mean, in our businesses, we only really have admin teams working from home. It doesn't work well, I don't think, in sales teams, especially like what we've got. We've got like 100 odd people here in the UK in a full office, and then obviously we've got the Dubai office too. So I think in sales, especially the kind of sales that we're doing, we do different types, from telemarketing to direct selling to appointment setting to all sorts. You need the motivation all the time, and I think especially when the guys are having a shit day, basically, you need that pickup. You need a good manager there to pick up the teams and make sure they're all right. I think if you field sales, absolutely. I mean, you're basically remote anyway. You're out on the road all the time. But I think it depends on the industry. I really, really do. But I completely agree with you. Like, it destroyed a hell of a lot of businesses because of that remote working. Because, I mean, I couldn't do it. I just didn't do it. I lasted 6 weeks. I had to go. I sat in the office on my own. Do you know what I mean? I had to. But I think, who was I speaking to the other day? And the large businesses, the very large brands and stuff now are now forcing their teams to go back to the office, because as much as, and I think this is what COVID did, was it was productive at the start. Okay. And the thing is, what I think a lot of people were looking at was targets. They were hitting targets. Okay, so if they were hitting targets here, and it was a massive saving cost as well because of, the amount of money people were losing at the time. But I think they've looked at targets, but they've realized that a lot of people aren't actually being that productive, but they're still hitting the targets. So imagine if they bring them back to the office, put obviously the managed again, not micromanaged, but managed properly again. The productivity is going to go through the roof again for 100%. Them. And, businesses, for what they lost actually probably in COVID, will gain that completely back in the next year or two.
Yeah. No, it is. I 100% agree. I think, yeah, it's about having the right management in a business as well.
100%. Your management is everything in a business.
Your management of, clients, of projects, of team is the main thing of how a company sort of runs. I don't know what your kind of experience with managers is and kind of how things have.
It's hard to find a good one.
Yeah.
But when you do find a good one, look after them. And I say this even about any good person you have in your business, you need to look after them. But I think your whole business is run by, I think you as a CEO, as a director, and obviously you've grown as a business, your management are really the people who are running your business.
Yeah.
And I think if you don't have good managers, your whole business is collapsing, like in areas, as much as the front line, but shit travels down. Like, your front line, yes, you'll find absolute golden nuggets in there. You get some people who are productive themselves and manage themselves. You've got people, I think every person needs managing in a different way.
Yeah.
Some need a hug.
100%.
Some need to kick up the ass.
Yeah.
Some just need leaving alone. Like, there's so many different personalities, I think, especially within sales, which is what we work in. And you need a manager who can manage all them different personalities and get the most out of each individual, not just micromanaging one single way. And I think if you don't have that good management team, and that's where I failed in the first year and second year, basically, it was collapsing because the management structure inside of it was non-existent, really.
Yeah, I mean, tell me more about that. I think it'd be good to dive into.
So, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was non-existent because when I first opened the business, I first opened it because I basically worked for a company that doing the same thing, basically. And I was, obviously I had my little boy and stuff, and I was working my way up through this business. I mean, I was grafting, I was first in, last to leave every single day. Like I was working till midnight at times and stuff just to stay ahead. I was setting up computers to make sure the guys in the next day had everything that could walk in and do work. Like I was doing everything, but I was getting basically abused by it and used. You know what I mean? I wasn't getting what I wanted from it. They'd set me targets all the time, and I'd hit these targets, and they'd move the carrot again, and then it'd keep going and going and going. And in the end, I got offered basically a job by one of the clients, and basically what happened was we were going to sign one of the biggest contracts there was. They wanted to take, they wanted a lower price. So I had to bring the director on. They wouldn't lower the price. So then he said to me, why don't I just hire you? And I said, well, anything's bought for the right price, really, isn't it? So he rang me that night and offered me a job, basically running all his European sales and stuff, because I'd basically been working with these for just about a year now. We'd quadrupled their sales, made them grow by 40% in COVID and stuff. Like we killed it.
Yeah.
And obviously then he offered me a job, but basically the job it offered, the company that they were, the way they structured inside of it, I couldn't grow any further. So I turned it down, because I will not stay in the same place. Basically, it's like a dead end job.
Yeah.
So when he basically goes, no problem at all, and then called me an hour later and goes, here's option 2, go set up on your own. I'll be your first customer and I'll pay you the first 3 months up front.
Yeah.
So I was like, really? Basically. And then he was like, yeah. I said, right, I'll come back to you, because obviously it's a really big jump and stuff.
It's a big risk as well.
Massive risk. And, I had a comfortable job. I had a house and stuff like that, and I had a little boy and stuff I had to think about. And then I went and picked my friend up, just to say, like, look, I've been offered this and that, and he just turned around to me and goes, why the fuck have you picked me up? Like, you know what you're going to do. So, you just wanted someone to tell you. Yeah. And I did, obviously, I accepted it and went. So we started, obviously, with 8 people, and then we grew by 400% in the first year. So I think I got to 4 months. I think it was about 4 months in. Bearing in mind, I'd set this business plan up and stuff to only turn over like 60K in the year and literally have about 10, 15 people. And then in the first 4 months, we turned over about 420K. Wow. And I was like, we can hit $1 million here.
Yeah.
We can hit $1 million. And the thing is, with me, this is one of my biggest traits, but also one of my biggest downfalls, is when I see something, I'll go get it.
Yeah.
But I don't look at the carnage that I'm causing around me. And that is where you need a good management team. And I think that is where I went, like, I hit the mill, I hit 1.1 mil, but everything was falling out the bottom of it, like everything. So I think that is where I learned massively about a management structure within a company, because everything I was throwing back was just falling straight back
Yeah.
out the bottom of it.
Yeah.
So it was like a sieve, which made me learn a lot. And that's what I did in the second year. I say it all the time. The first year I winged it completely. Like I did not know what I was doing at all in any way. I just, every time a problem came, I fixed it. And that's just kind of what we did. And we guided our way through. Second year, I learned a hell of a lot in business. People, right people, who's going to screw you over, who's not. Different structures, strategies in business, learning different systems, everything. Third year is when we really exploded, and we did 3.5 mil. Wow. So, and that was because I'd built a management team within the second year to grab and catch everything falling back in. So, yeah, I think that's what I say about a management structure. If you don't have that in and you're on your own, then you will collapse.
So yeah, obviously management is a big part of a business, but how did it all start for you? Where did everything kind of, how did it start originally? I know you've said about the first 3 years of the business and everything, but, you've spoken a little bit about your background. It'd be great to dive in more, I think, about, your background if you're comfortable to.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, where do you want to start?
At the start. Right at the start.
At the start. Okay, so I was born probably not into the best environments and stuff, I think. I think, I had a father he was a raging alcoholic. He had his own problems and stuff like that. And, I used to abuse my mum and things, obviously growing up and stuff. And, my mum, did everything she possibly could at the end of the day. She's trying to stick with someone who's got kids and stuff. But I think the weird thing about it all though is you didn't really think anything was different. You thought everyone's household was kind of like that. So
that's what you get used to.
Yeah, it's kind of all I think, especially as being a young kids and stuff. I think you expect everybody else's house to be exactly the same as yours. And but yeah, that was obviously, I think my mum left him when I was 6.
Oh, really?
6, yeah. She ended up kidnapping us in the middle of the night, basically. Went to my grand's and stopped and slept on a dining room floor for a number of weeks till my mum obviously got his place and stuff and on feet and stuff. And then we bounced around quite a lot. My mum was always bouncing around places. And I think that's kind of maybe why I don't really settle in places.
Yeah.
I'm always,
on the move.
Yeah, always on the move. I think even when, I move house, there's actually a running joke between my friends and stuff because I move all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe part of it why I do, because I just don't feel comfortable unless I'm moving.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's about moving forward or, just moving about, bored of the same 4 walls or what.
Probably.
I don't know what it is. But I think that's maybe a reason behind it. And then, obviously went to school. I was a little shit, I'll be honest with you. I wasn't the best at school, Sorry to the teachers, obviously, it was. But I also think it was quite hard because I was a kid with ADHD. We were diagnosed with ADHD at 6, 7 years old. So we were on Ritalin. We were actually the guinea pigs for Ritalin.
Right.
My mum, she had 3 kids with ADHD. She had to go do exhibition things and stuff, and conferences about what's it like to live with 3 kids with ADHD. And we had to go every 2 weeks to go get hearing tests and things because we were testing the Ritalin and things. So I think instantly then you felt different in school, and because we had this ADHD, we were just classed as naughty kids basically. So, and I think school education, I think especially the UK school education, I think they only kind of taught one way. I think I had one teacher who kind of understood me. Like I don't think I was a bad kid. Well, I was a bad kid, but I was a lost kid, I think.
Yeah,
and I think that was kind of, I didn't have the support and stuff around me. I didn't have dad. Mum was mum, and she, at the end of the day, she'd come from an abusive relationship, and I don't kind of really blame her for everything. You know, I still help her out. I look after her to this day and stuff. You know, I make sure she's always sorted out and she never goes without and stuff. But you know, I had one teacher who did kind of understand me and stuff, and you know, really helped me, guided me. I used to be on report card; she'd always give me frees, and I didn't kind of cruise it. If I was just an asshole, I'd probably be an asshole to everybody. But I think there was a number of teachers that just had a vendetta, I think, against me. I mean, I wasn't the easiest kid. I'm not going to sit here saying it's their fault. I'm not, but I think now ADHD. I think today ADHD is a weird thing. I think because there's so many people self-diagnosing themselves saying they've got ADHD, and it's just like, well, do you have ADHD? Or are you just like, I think people want something to label themselves now these days.
It's true. I think, you know, you touched on a good thing there. I think that again can be quite detrimental to people, where I think the whole self-labeling of things like, oh, I have depression, oh, I have ADHD, which a lot of people do, but I think now it's become almost like a token for people to say it, like, oh, I've got that. And it's like, you know, it's not a bad or a good thing that you've got it. You know, it's normal. It's not like, oh, you're bad for having that. But I think it is bad if people are, you know, self-saying they have it, and then someone who actually does have it really badly. I think it can come across wrong if, let's say, the one person who, you know, says they have it doesn't, and, you know, what they think is bad isn't bad, but someone else has it really bad. They can't compare each other to the two. And I think that can be quite detrimental, where you get, I mean, I've seen it before with two people comparing, oh, well, I have this. And then, you know, someone's getting really upset, you know, because of what they've got and everything, and they're going through the emotions. And then someone else says, oh, I've got it as well. It's not that bad. The clash, that's dangerous, because the one person that doesn't really have it is saying, oh, it's not that bad, because the other person has it on a different level. And I think that on a number of different, you know, levels and in different situations is quite dangerous at times.
Yeah, I agree. I do, and it does happen. It happens quite a lot, that, and you know. But I think when I was younger, I felt different. I almost got like I got labelled something that I didn't even know. But wrestling when I was younger, because it was so fresh, I think it just zombied you. Like it really, really zombied you. And like when I was 16, it was my choice whether to take Ritalin anymore. And I stopped, and I just hit drugs so hard. And I think that's because I'd been so dependent on something that I was getting forced to take. Yeah. It's not even that I had a choice to take. I got forced to take it. And I used to have to take it for breakfast, dinner, tea, which is evening dinner, if people didn't know. And then some clonidine basic tablets, supposedly, to make me go to sleep. But it was almost like I was just getting, like, people just trying to put me down. Do you know what I mean? That's what they're trying to do. Just feed me, feeding me tablets to thing. And I think, obviously, I went down a bad path after school and stuff and like that. But I think I've even thought now, especially in business, because ADHD is a really funny thing. Like, you could either be really obsessed with something, which you will take over the world. Like, I strongly believe it is a superpower, like it massively is. And you can almost be so obsessed where you'll be the best at it, or you'll just fucking not do it at all. I mean, there's no really in between. And I've even thought about going back on tablets and Ritalin to maybe focus me a little bit more and stuff and things. But I'm so scared to lose my personality again.
Yeah. I mean, what do you think about, it's a bit more of a deep one, but, you know, with the whole pharmaceutical world, there's a lot of interest in it. There's a lot of strange things. You know, I just think there's a lot of divide between what people think is good and bad. You know, there's tablets which, as you said, completely change a person. And it's quite scary to think that that's like normalized, that, oh, well, you can have that. That's going to help you. I mean, what do you think about that whole sort of world? Is it really helping, or does it kind of make things worse in a way?
Well, I need to be careful because I know people in pharmaceutical, but I don't. I mean, I don't even take paracetamol. I just don't. I just think. I think one of the worst thing. I think one of the worst pharmaceutical tablets you can have is antidepressants.
Yeah,
and I think they're just fed to people, and I think when I got offered them, because when I was really in a dark place, I didn't want something to control my emotion, to control me of who I was. Which is all that does. Like, it numbs you. Like, I know people who are on them. You know, I was with a partner who was on them badly. I think it was sertraline or something it was, which is one of the strongest.
Yeah.
And it was just like they didn't have a personality.
No. Yeah, most people I know, pretty much everybody I know that has been on them, I don't know anybody that has said, "Oh, it's amazing."
Yeah, I know.
Which is really weird. Like, I don't know if anybody that's like, "Oh, it's great. It really, really helped me." Everybody I know, one of my best friends was on it for years, and he only came off recently. He used to be like a zombie in school.
Yeah.
And it destroyed him. But when he came off it, he said that he feels perfect again. So it's a very weird concept, because there's a lot of, you've got like antibiotics and stuff, which, obviously you can't take too much because you get immune, but it helps and it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But I think there's the whole, as you said, they feed these things to people now. Like, oh, I've got anxiety. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, I've got a little bit of ADHD.
I'll see you in
there
a
you go,
month.
mate. And it's one of the strangest things in that world.
It is, but it's a false personality.
Yeah.
You know, it's a false feeling. It's a false. I don't think you're really fixing the core of what it is. You're just suppressing
it's a cop out, really, isn't it?
Yeah, you are.
It's just a cop out where you're saying, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to confront it. It's push it to the side, which obviously some people have to do, which makes sense. But I think, that whole, pharma medical world does it really help for people who have depression or anxiety and stuff? Because there's some medication that does, but especially the big ones that you mentioned, does it help? Or does it make it worse half the time?
Yeah, Will we ever know?
No.
Truly, I think only people who have been on them will tell you the truth. But I think there's too many people invest in the background to it ever not to always be there. And I don't think it is bad here. I mean, mental health and antidepressants are really bad here in the UK and that. But I think it's also worse in some countries like the US.
Yeah.
Where it's very privatized, and the other countries that are privatized, and people are almost bribed to give them out, and which has caused a lot of epidemics and things over the years and stuff in certain countries. But I think UK suffers badly with depression.
Yeah.
I think it's getting worse, which is, I think I noticed this even before I went to Dubai, is I was starting to get depressed again. I think a lot of people here are just drinking all the time, maybe because of depression. I think they are negative, like so negative about things. And I think we get very seasonal depression here because of the weather. Whereas when I went to Dubai, it was literally a few weeks and I'm back in a good routine. I'm back, I'm eating healthy again. I'm working, I'm going to the gym, I'm getting the sun. And I think this is why it's maybe getting worse here in the UK and more antidepressants and things are getting handed out. I think there's many factors to it, but I think people, and I don't want to say this to everybody, I don't, because obviously I've gone and done it and, get out the country, I don't, because I think Britain is a great place. I just think it's not a great place at the moment.
What do you think the importance is of having a routine, like a morning or a daily sort of routine? Have you done that? Does it help?
100%. I was always, I've only really started, I think, I say that. I've always had a routine, but like my routine before would be get up, go to work.
Yeah.
I'd maybe have a walk in the morning and go to work. But it'd still be a routine. I still turned up every day. I think it's when you don't have something to do and you're lying around in bed till midday and, you're getting up and you're smoking weed or you're doing something like that is going to kill you.
Yeah.
Like it really is. But I think what I've done, especially in Dubai, we're dealing with some huge companies and stuff over there now. And I think one thing that really leveled me up was getting up, going to the gym, having a good routine and eating healthy. And I was always a bit of I want to have fun.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to do everything I want to do. But if I could advise anybody, like, you don't need to do it all the time at the start if you're starting business. Because to me, I was 20 hours a day when I first started. You know, I didn't have time to fit the gym in. I just didn't. You know, I thought I had to work as many hours as I possibly could to get to where I wanted to be, which, yes, in the long run, did affect my health. I burnt out, and, you know, I made some bad decisions probably just through tiredness and through... You know, I think it's very easy to get very locked into the business where you miss things because you're so enclosed in it.
Yeah.
Like, one thing I set for myself was every quarter I'll just go away. But now I don't even do it like every quarter. I'll go for a week or two, just away, completely away. But now what I start to do now, even on a week or once every 2 weeks, is just take myself completely out of work. You need to look into the work, like you really do, and you notice so much more. And I think that part of that, these little things that I've done, you know, the routine, gym, eating healthy, and just taking myself out of it a little bit to be able to look in and analyze your business. And I don't know whether you've done this, obviously, in 100%. Yours yourself, like, you need to do this.
I think it depends what role you play in a business, but I always say, as an owner or someone starting, whatever, you want to be on the business, you don't want to be in the business. And that's the problem we've had before, you know, in what we do, where I've been in the business for too long. Oh, I'm doing this, or my business partner's doing it all, and it's like, that's not going to work. We need to be on the business, looking like the eagle above, staring down at, you know, the food and making sure that it's all there. You can't be in your business when it's big. And you have to look at it from that top level overview. So no, I 100% agree with what you're saying. I mean, what do you think? Do you think discipline's a big thing in business? Because there's mixed. Some people think it's a massive, like, part that plays. Some people think it doesn't really matter.
I'm kind of in between. Yes, in all, yes, it is. But I don't think your discipline needs to be a perfectionist, as in, like, getting up 5 a.m. by 10 past, you're putting your face in an ice bath. Do you know what I mean? You're doing this, you're going to the gym by 7:20, you do that, like that. I just don't think it needs to be that. I think you'll kill your own business by doing something like that. Yes, you'll be healthy. Yes, you'll be great. But, and yes, I'm not going to say you're not going to feel great, because you will do. But I think you need to be disciplined in your business.
Yeah.
And I think you're outside life, but then once you've got your business moving, once you discipline your outside life too, you really, really start growing, I think, as a person. So yes, discipline is, I think, a massive part. I just don't think, I mean, you see some of the people, mate, who are getting up and putting faces in ice baths, then going for an ice bath, then letting the dog walk them and this, that, and everything. And, you know, they're eating lemongrass and lemon and cider vinegar and all this stuff and that. And which I do think health is wealth. And that's one thing I've learned a lot. I think, especially moving on, being the business, getting older, having a son. I think growing up, I'd have been happy to live to 25. Do you know what I mean? The lifestyle and stuff I was living. But I think now I want to live to 125. Do you know what I mean?
I think health is wealth, isn't it? And I think it's, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything.
You've got no business, you've got nothing if you don't have your health.
If you're dead, you don't have a business anyway.
I mean?
So it's, I think health is a super important thing, but I think there's two extremes, isn't there?
There's two extremes.
And I think you've got people that wake up at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m, go to the gym, eat like ridiculous food, like ridiculously healthy stuff, and it's just crazy.
Munching 100 vitamins a day, and
all these tablets they're taking, going to the gym 10 times a day. Like, that can't be that good for you. Whereas I think there's a balance of, look, wake up 8 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, work, but do what you enjoy. Take a few supplements, vitamin D, you know, Shilajit, whatever you might want to take, and you hit the gym in the evening. And you eat well. I think food is one of the most important things. Like, 100%. Don't be munching on pizzas and burgers every day. But if you're eating, you know, a consistent diet of, you know, chicken and fish and just getting the vegetables and things that are good for you, that's much more important than waking up at 4 a.m. and going to the gym.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I mean, look, like I get up early, but that's kind of just what I want to do. I think I'm a big believer in the early bird catches the worm. Do you know what I mean? And I think not only that, I want to be so prepared walking into it. I don't want to, like, I have some of the sales guys that come into the office, they're strolling in at like 2 minutes to 9, mate, and they're like zombies walking in because they've just caught out hair, not brushed anything. Whereas to me, I like to be prepared. I'll go to the gym in the morning and stuff, but I'm not I just won't overdo it. Like there's that guy, I think there's that guy that's kicking about that's he's trying to reverse his age or something like that. Have you seen him? He
Brian
takes
something,
and he takes his son's DNA or something and all the tablets. He takes I think 150 tablets a day or something, and he's trying to reverse his age. I just think that can't be healthy.
No,
it really can't be healthy.
It's too extreme. It's too extreme the other way. And, I mean, you even look at people like the Liver King, people like that, where it's.
Didn't he get caught out to being a fraud?
Yeah,
though,
so he got caught out for having steroids,
didn't he? Yeah.
Which was interesting. So, it's that you never really know on social media what people are doing. People like you don't know these people that are waking up at 4 a.m. if they've changed the time and they're waking up at 1 p.m. Realistically, you don't know. But I think it just goes too far sometimes. And I think sometimes people take it too far to the extreme where it's just health. And health is too much at that point where it's like, this is getting ridiculous.
I think it becomes unhealthy.
It does.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I really do.
Well, it's like if you were running, runners notoriously don't look that healthy. If you were to run, but you were doing running, I'm going to do 3 hours in the morning, 2 hours at lunch, 2 hours in the afternoon, you would look awful and you probably wouldn't be that healthy. Your heart might be great, but that's only going to help you so much.
Yeah, but then at the same time, like I know a guy, because I used to race and stuff. I know a guy, and he was the fittest guy that you'd ever used to swim lengths and lengths. He used to do Ironmans and stuff. And like, honestly, like this, you couldn't be fitter than this guy. Like he could run marathons, everything. And then he ended up having a cardiac arrest in a swimming pool.
Really?
Yeah. You did you know what I mean? Like obviously he survived it, but he had to stop racing and stuff like that. But this is what I'm saying is you can be too healthy.
You never know.
And then boom. Do you know what I mean? And this is what I say, to everyone. Like, I'm not saying like you shouldn't, but I also think the body is big. Like, that's why I don't take paracetamol and things and stuff like that, because I believe the body's made to heal itself.
Yeah.
Like it's a massive. It's that's what it's made to do. You cut yourself, it scabs up, it heals.
Yeah.
It's made to heal itself. And I think you can look at, like I did a deficiency test basically to see if those things I was allergic to, because I have sometimes like stomach issues with acid and stuff like that. So. I did a deficiency thing to see if I was allergic to stuff and things like that, and I didn't. There was a couple of things inflamed in that, but it gave me a deficiency in, like, obviously in Dubai, you get a lot of vitamin D deficiency because you're indoors over the summer, and there's obviously a couple of other things that I had to do, which you just take a few of them, like tablets like that, magnesium, vitamin D and stuff, which just tops things up, not the whole pharmacy. No. Do you know what I mean? So, 100%. And I think that's people need to do. I think people don't read their body. And I think you need to read your body, see what it's missing, and just add.
Yeah.
Not just add everything and hope to be Iron Man by the end of it, basically.
Yeah, I don't think there's any point in it. I think it's a difficult one, but I think, again, it's another thing that is so big at the moment on social media and just on the internet in general of this whole health kick, biohacking and everything, which there's bits of it that are great. And, we work with a lot of people, and I know a lot of people that do it, and they're really healthy because they eat well. Biohacking is kind of good because, you've got people that, it's looking at the world, really. It's looking at, like, how can you make yourself feel better? Having a, cold shower, great. Having some supplements, not the whole pharmacy, as you say, but, eating well. Eating well is the main thing.
Yeah,
Your food is the main thing you can do. And then, that's like the middle ground. But as you say, you've got these people that go way too far now. And I just think you've just got to stay in the middle and eat well is the simplest way to put it. And it will help you in your business, in your personal life. I think it will help in everything that.
I mean, look, humans have been alive for millions of years, mate. And they weren't biohacking then and things and stuff like that. But look, I agree with certain factors of it. And I also think it could be unhealthy in other parts of it. So,
no, I agree. No, so I mean, I think, how do you find living in Dubai in terms of the food and the health over there? Is it a good place to be for people who want to be healthy?
100%, yeah. Like this is what I was speaking to my friend literally, because obviously I've been back in the UK 2.5 weeks now, and healthy food in Dubai is so easy accessible. Let's say you are, a single guy or single woman and stuff, and look, I've been there, I've been a single guy living on my own and stuff for a number of years, and cooking meals and stuff sometimes, especially when you were running a business and you come in and you're just like, I can't really be asked. You know what I mean? So you'll open an app and you'll order a takeaway or something like that. Whereas over there, probably you'll open the app and there's probably 150 healthy places called 500 Cows or gym thingies and stuff like that, where you can literally just get like meal prep and stuff like that. Whereas in the UK, you go on, it's Greg's, McDonald's, KFC, Burger King, all these horrible brands and stuff for food, which aren't healthy. And I think this is where, like, I went to Dubai, mate. I lost 15 kg, in the space of what, 3.5 months or something it was, 3.5 months. So, I've been back here 2.5 weeks and I think I've put a stone back on, do you know what I mean? But I just think it's so much more easy accessible. But it's not only that. I think it's, you become what you surround yourself with. Like, I'm a huge believer in it. And everybody there is eating healthy and going to the gym but I think there is just everything's so much more accessible and convenient, and you can get it off a push of a button. If you want to, whereas here, I'm not saying don't be lazy and don't cook healthy food and stuff like that, but as I say, if you're, especially, I think that's why
easy to get.
Yeah, it's easy to get, and I think that's why I put on so much weight.
Yeah.
In the first few years of business and stuff, because I was working silly hours, I was going home, I was grabbing food.
Yeah.
Even at the office, I was grabbing food. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't really getting too involved in relationships and stuff. So it was just me, the business, my son. That's literally all it was. And I'd obviously the weird thing was when he'd come around at the weekend, I was cooking him all healthy food and that. But then I was running riot for the week, and I was eating crap through the week. Do you know what I mean? Like, obviously, I'd eat some healthy stuff and that with him and that, but. When it was just me through the week and stuff, just crap all the time. And I think that's the difference between Dubai and UK.
Everybody sees, though, I think a lot of people see Dubai as influencers, naked people, or, slave labor at times. And also very, very strict rules of like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. What do you think is the biggest misconceptions about Dubai? Because it's very divided online.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's not just influencers and stuff. No. There's a lot of people. Like, I lived on Marina, which is very quite touristy and influencery, just because of scenes and the views and stuff there. But I now moved a bit, obviously, more inland, which is a bit more residential and things. Which it's all like Westerners, it's all families, it's all, people there who go in there to work and stuff. I think down to the rules. I mean, look, there's rules in every country. But I think some of the rules that people think are extreme. And I think the funny part of it is these people are saying these rules and they've never been.
No.
I've had people going, oh, women can't go out and, you're not allowed to drink anywhere and stuff, which not everyone's going there to drink or anything. And obviously it is a Muslim country. Yeah. But I think one thing Dubai has done is it's opened it very much for the Western world and, for other countries that have other religions, not just Islamic, and I think they cater for everybody. And I don't think that's what not a lot of people think. They think you're going to go over there, you're going to live by Sharia law and you all have to go to a mosque, you can't drink, you can't do this, there's you hear all sorts from people, especially online. Like, I've posted a few things online, obviously, about Dubai and that, and just the people commenting on it about, we're funding slave labor and we're doing this, and it's not. I think the slave labor it's not slave labor. Like, these people, come from places like India and places like that, and they have nothing. They literally have nothing, and. They come and they work, they send money home. Yes, don't get me wrong. Do I think they should be paid more? Yeah. But if it wasn't for places like Dubai, and Dubai's not the only place in the world that ships people in to do work and stuff, like, at all. Like, there's a lot of places in the world that do it. But would they have something if they didn't have that? And would they be able to feed the families back at home? Because I'm over there as, would you call it migrating, immigrating? Like
yeah.
what? Do you know what I mean? To fund my family that's back
Yeah,
at home.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, we're all
true.
there for the same reason. This is the thing with Dubai this is why I think the mindset there is everyone's hungry, everyone wants to work, everyone wants to succeed because they're all there for one reason. And that is to make money and send it back home to provide for their families.
I think it is really interesting what's going on in the Middle East at the moment. They seem to be investing a lot into bringing Westerners there. I don't know what your take is on it, but like the last, years ago, you would have never dreamed of, Dubai rose out the sand, Abu Dhabi was meh, and Saudi Arabia, you wouldn't go there. Neither would you probably go to Qatar. But now you've got Dubai is this massive mega city that everybody wants to go to. Abu Dhabi's rising now, which is cool because it's a really nice place.
It's a very cool place.
And you've got, places like Doha, which has loads of things for tourists. And in Saudi Arabia now, Mr. Beast opening up a theme park. You've got the new Six Flags with the world's tallest roller coaster opening up. So like,
you love a roller coaster,
yeah, 100%. They're investing a lot of money there to bring the Westerners in, which is really interesting because they are such a different culture that they act so differently and they do have all of these different things. But I think, I'm not sure what your take is on it all. Like, why are they trying to invest so much to get people over there at the moment?
I think everyone has their own views on what they're trying to do. I mean, me personally, I think it will change the way it is. I mean, look, I think for businesses, obviously, it's the 0% tax, in a lot of places, and I think it's very, very, very attractive, especially when you're in the UK and,
50% or whatever.
50%, sometimes even more, depending on how much you take. And they're even talking about upping it. They're even talking about changing the VAT, the wealth tax, the VAT threshold, everything they're talking about here, which will kill it.
Yeah.
It will kill it. I think Dubai had a little bit of oil. They grew a lot off it, but I think there's just tourism. They're going to be Dubai will be the number one tourist attraction in the whole of the world, if it's not already. Everyone's going through that. They're building a brand new airport, which is going to be, I can't remember how many flights, but it's going to be nearly double the size of DXB,
really? Wow.
Which is going to be up near Jebel Ali. This is where they're saying for everyone to invest now because they reckon it's going to be the new downtown. Because of the amount they predict of tourists, like 200 million tourists are going to be coming through every year, because then they won't have the space in DXB for that. But you've got your Riyadh and you've got your Jeddah now in Saudi Arabia, which are now the up and coming places. Like they really are. That people are saying invest a lot into there. You've mentioned the theme parks and stuff. Abu Dhabi was, I think Abu Dhabi was like a bit like the silent assassin in UAE. Like it was just it's very still traditional up there.
Yeah.
Dubai's very a lot more Western than Abu Dhabi is. But I think Abu Dhabi is very nice. I go to Abu Dhabi probably once a month just to get away sometimes from the busyness of Dubai. It's very nice. It's peaceful. It's got nice hotels up there. It's got all the theme parks. You've got Yas Island that has everything on it. But I think, no one really knows why they're trying to do it other than the sheikhs and stuff, if I'm on it. Yeah. Is it due to oil running out and you're trying to get a lot of, this is why they're investing in all the sports and stuff and things now. You've got Turkey now who's, he's all the boxing, now I think he's just signed a big contract with Matchroom Boxing and bought shares in it for all the snooker, the darts, everything that's now in Saudi Arabia. They are, they've got brands, with Mercedes to put buildings and stuff in there. They're attracting everything. But I think personally, by about 2030, 2035, I think they're attracting all the Westerners and stuff there now to put money in there. And then they'll start taxing and stuff and that too. Like I really do believe that's a problem, which I don't think is a problem because I think, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Oman's just literally put in an income tax or something. I think of 5%.
Yeah.
Which I think will eventually come over to UAE and I think obviously other places within the Middle East, because. But it's still attractive.
Yeah.
5%.
5%.
I'll pay 5%.
Rises to 40%.
I'll pay 5%. But I think we'll never know for the next 10 years.
It's going to be an interesting time. I'm thinking, they're investing so much, even I think, is it Dubai or it might be Abu Dhabi who's building a new Disneyland there as well.
Yeah,
Like
talk about it.
New, it's got like the castle on the water or something, which is nuts.
It would be
they're
crazy.
spending
It'd
a
be crazy.
fortune, and that they're attracting people of all kinds of different age ranges, which is interesting. So you got, that's going to now attract loads of kids there who probably wouldn't want to go to Dubai because it's too hot, or it's just more for adults shopping and stuff like that. Whereas now, oh well, Mum, can I go to there because the biggest Disney in the world's open?
I think it depends, because like I take my little lad. Obviously, he comes out all the time. And you've obviously got Yas Island, which is great. It's got Ferrari World, it's got the Water World, it's got Warner Brothers World, which is incredible. Like I took my little lad there. But you've also got, and I think a lot of people miss this out, is on the way to Abu Dhabi, you've got all the theme parks just as you're coming out of it. It's got Legoland, it's got Riverland, it's got all these. They're building so much. I think for kids. I mean, Alf loves it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He goes. He comes with me 3 times a year, and he absolutely loves it. But I think that's what they're trying to do. Is they're attracting it more to families. They're attracting it more to, Western families, and especially US, UK, Europeans and stuff. Whether that's to get as much money in there as possible, I don't know. Enough businesses and economy in there, who knows really? But I think it's only going to get bigger over the next 10 years, I can show you.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, I mean, obviously with the Dubai-based business that you've got, how has that been going? Has there been what's the sort of biggest issues you've faced with that recently?
It's been tough. It has been tough. Tougher than I thought it was going to be. I think before we set up there and went over there, we did a bit of secret shopping. So we were testing the market. Let's call all the competitors who would be us over there. And I think we called 10. And I think 8 didn't answer. 2 said to call us back and they didn't. And it was just like, okay. Obviously, it was a huge risk. But I always wanted, I think, there's a reason. I think it was 8,000 millionaires went to Dubai. Was it last year or the year before? And because it is the place, it's the biggest growing place in the world right now. Like every single big brand there is in the world is going there.
Yeah.
And I think if you want to be part of that boom, you've got to get in now. And I think that was why we wanted to go, as well as obviously other benefits and stuff as well. But I think it was not only that, we wanted a very central hub. Because we've got a number of global clients and stuff we work with. Yeah. And Dubai offers a very central hub. I mean, UAE as a whole really does. So obviously we started there. We got in. We got the office, which was a pain in the ass itself, if I'm honest. They work very differently over there.
Not cheap, I bet.
It depends where you go. It depends where you go. Obviously, everyone wants to be in Business Bay at the start. That's where all the big brands are and stuff. So we looked there first, found a nice office. But then I was like, because the thing is with me, I'm quite. If I want something, I'll go get it. Which can also be a bit of a downfall too. So I was like, no, I want Business Bay. If we're gonna do this, we're doing it properly. I want to be with the big brands, I want to be able to network and jump around the offices and stuff around that area and be able to get business with them. Say, look, we're on your doorstep. Let us help you. So obviously I started looking around and then we've ended up in JLT basically, which is there's Business Bay, but then JLT is basically another area. It's near Marina. It's just behind Marina, but it's built. It's just full of office blocks everywhere and stuff. There's some really big brands and stuff in there too, which was half the price of Business Bay. And I thought, right, okay, let's go. I thought, because at first I was like, no, we're going Business Bay. We're going to get it, la la la. But then it was like, I need to play smart here. I need to be a bit smarter. Yeah. Okay. Let's get the JLT one. We need to be saving costs because we're taking a big jump here. Yeah. We'd already started new business meetings prior to even getting an office and stuff over there. We were calling from the UK and setting up meetings and things and having some good conversations. What we found out from having these conversations is Dubai really, really, and I mean obviously I don't want to be stereotypical or anything and stuff like that, but there was a lot of Indian call centers and stuff where people were just phone bashing. There were almost a term that I say all the time: chucking shit at a wall and hope it sticks.
Yeah, just
basically, there were just phone bashing, chucking 20 people on one thing, hoping to get something and sending bad quality through.
Yeah.
Whereas we obviously wanted, our whole mission when we first opened this company was to change the whole persona on telemarketing and lead generation, because it's one of the best forms of marketing that you can ever have, because you're speaking directly with a decision maker. You are, you're getting the answer straight away, you're getting commitment straight away, and it's booked in, and you're sitting qualified meetings, and if it's done properly. And I think there was too many people came into the industry and chuck shit at a wall and hope it stuck and thought they could do it. They thought it was easy, but it's not. There's a skill to it. But I think that's all changing anyway now, especially with AI and things and stuff too, which is obviously we've moved on, which I'll obviously go into, because that's gone huge in Dubai. So I think going back to obviously the hardest things is I've learned is Dubai is fantastic if you want food or electronics in 15 minutes to your door. Anything let's say anything consumer based, Dubai is fantastic for.
Yeah.
What I've realized with commercial is it's a lot slower. And I think this is probably the only, I mean, I'll never say a bad thing about Dubai because I love the place, but the only, I think, downside to it a little bit, especially me, who's a very fast-paced person, I like to get things done now. If I want it, it's got to get done now. I action everything I want now, and it's just the way it is. Is you've got to jump through 3-4 doors just to get one thing done. Yeah. And it's like when we first moved into the office, we needed a phone system, we needed internet in. Well, we had to go speak to the property manager to get the property manager to sign off, but we had to use their supplier to get this, to get that. It's just like whoa, like
it's a lot.
I can't work like this. Then it was when we needed phone systems, but then you've got to get signed off to get them signed off to get it through security and this, and it's just not like, to me, I'm so used to going, right, this, that, come in tomorrow, boom, done.
Yeah.
But then I think it was also changing the mindset of people in Dubai, because we're a premium, you know, we're not just your sales agency that's just gonna give you it for this and clear off. You know, we run the full process. We're full end to end. You know, you pay a premium price, which is where we work with premium brands. And it was trying to change the mindset and away from these Indian call centers to now a UK-based call center. The thing is, we always they loved that we were from England. They loved that we were Western. They really wanted to work with us. And as soon as we mentioned price, we never heard from them again.
So. I'm really interested in what's the setup like then for people who are thinking about, taking the move or something? Because you've got, places like America is quite difficult to get, either the residency or to set up a business there. What's the process look like for you setting up a business in Dubai and then obviously yourself moving over there?
I mean, it's easy, really. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have an agent who does everything. So first thing I'd say is get a good agent.
Yeah.
But, to get a residency, it's very easy. Obviously, you've got to go do biometrics, I think your blood tests and everything, and, you're in, especially if you're from the UK or you're from, one of the Western countries and Europe, you're kind of quite easy to get in.
Yeah.
Business-wise, this is kind of what we've found out is there's very different licenses everywhere you go in Dubai. So you get free zone licenses. So you've got, your likes of your Meydan, your Jebel Ali and places, which is your free zone places, which is what we first got because they're the easiest to get, basically. But then once we've started obviously trading there, we've realized that actually we need a mainland license, which is a mainland license. You will pay 5% on VAT and things, like you will pay a bit of tax. But you won't get the good contracts unless you have a mainland license. So the free zone license that we've got is done as great. But to get government contracts, to get
the big ones,
the big boys and stuff, they're all on mainland licenses. They're all sat in downtown. They're all sat in Business Bay. You know, you need a mainline license to be trading with them. So I think one thing what I found hard is it's trying to guide through all these different licenses. There's fees and stuff you've got to pay. You know, things over there as well is, you know, like you're paying your VAT bill and this, and you know, if you're late at all, boom, it's you know, they're coming down on you basically. Which is fine, you know, it's why they get shit done at the end of the day. But obviously, I wish they'd switch it and get more of the maintenance and all the other little things get shit done that way too. I mean, I just think it would grow 10 times quicker if they got that side done. But I think it was tough. I think just guiding a new country. But this is where I say get a good agent. Like do get a good agent, because they do help you. There's people who've been there 30, 40 years. Do you know what I mean? Like they know the place. And I think one advice I do, don't pretend you know the place. No. Because you'll get caught out. Yeah. And if you get caught out there, you'll get a travel ban. You probably won't be going home. So
you won't be going at all, will you?
So I think speak to the experts. Yeah. You know.
You mentioned just now as well about obviously AI.
Yeah.
We're doing a lot of that with obviously what we do. We take, you know, people's large followings with Facebook, and we, you know, we take their content, monetizing their Facebook, but also AI has gotten so good now. I mean, if you look at what it was in 2020, 2023, even last year to now, it is insane.
I mean, it's gone from somebody asking weird questions on ChatGPT,
it's come from like a weird ChatGPT question, which was like mind blowing, to, you know, a little photo that wasn't that realistic. Yeah. So now we've got photos that are indistinguishable from real. Like we can do posts on some of our pages that are literally an AI photo that took 5 minutes but can make $2,000 because you put a fake story with it and people think it's real, and all the Facebook mums go, whoa. So it's genuinely insane how real it is now.
They just need someone else to complain about that.
Exactly. Facebook mums love it. Facebook mums will just be like, oh, the little animal. It's like, it'll be the most oblivious AI baby. Like, it's so obvious that it's AI, and they'll be like, oh my God, it's real. And they send it in like the family group chats. It's too funny. But yeah, AI is nuts now. I mean, how far ahead would you say Dubai is with AI than the UK, for instance?
I mean, miles, if I'm honest.
Really?
Yeah, I think what we've noticed when I set any new business or speak to new clients and stuff in Dubai is every single one wants AI.
Really?
I think right now, the differences in Dubai is, which is what we've just brought in right now, is they've wanted AI for so long, but not everybody had the capability, especially within sales teams like we've got now. Because we work with some of the, you know, the biggest brands in the world, basically in call center systems and stuff. So, which they had to put AI part of their systems, because if not, they would have got left behind. Whereas we launched this in the UK probably about a year ago,
right?
And we've got one client out of probably 30, 40 clients that actually have helped us, you know, test it out with them, and it's worked really, really well with them. But I think what a lot of people are worried about AI is they think that AI is going to take over everything. It's not. I think if you use AI within the business, I think you need to complement your business with it. And I think that's what we've done is AI is very good at doing the dirty work. It's very good at doing the hard graft. It's very good at, like, especially in lead gen, you know, let's say you're called reaching out or anything like that. AI will do all this, and it'll run for 8 to 9 hours a day, not take a break. You can put as many on it as you possibly want to. You can train it exactly the same as you train a human, and it'll do exactly, if not better, job. Because the thing I say about AI is AI hasn't woken up that morning out the wrong side of the bed.
No,
AI hasn't.
It's always going to turn up, isn't it?
So
I think it needs the human intervention in some areas. I don't think some people, you've probably had staff members or something before where, you get people that just think, oh, I can just plug into ChatGPT now.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, put this bit in here and then it's done. It's like,
create me this.
But it's not good. You can tell the difference between something that is purely ChatGPT or something that has had some human control that they've trained up a model. Like we've got one of our creative director in the team. He's great at it. Like uses it for the perfect stuff. What he does is, he trains up the AI as a model for each of our clients. They'll say, this is a model, this is our client, here's all the information, and then it will help with things alongside him. Whereas some people, in the social media space might say, "Oh, write me content ideas for this random person." They goes, "Oh, here's 5," and they go,
Yeah.
and it's shit. So it's like you've got to know how to use it. But
I agree.
I don't know if it
I think
can
people are
take
scared
over.
of using it.
They are scared of using it, and I don't know when it can take over more to the point of being able to completely remove the person. But I also think it depends on what industry you're in, because like what we're doing on the Facebook and the social media side is now becoming automated, that no person's going to have to touch it. It's going to automatically generate a prompt for a creator. It's going to automatically create the image that looks literally real, and then it's going to automatically create a story to go with the image and automatically post it.
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything, and it can generate 100,000 images a day, which is nuts. So like that is scary, but it's cool because that doesn't need people. But I think in a business, for stuff like marketing and lead generation, you're always going to need someone to be hands-on with it for the time being anyway, because otherwise you're not going to get the quality that you really want for your clients, if that makes sense.
I agree. And that's kind of what we've done with AI. So as you mentioned, you need to build that persona.
Yeah.
Which is what we've done. So each AI agent that we have has its own persona, personality, how you want it to greet, how you want it to do everything, basically. Do you want it to be warm? Do you want it to be direct? Do you want it, you can train it to do everything. But what we do is have the AI that will do the dirty work, but we have closers. Okay. We also have the human aspect is complaints. If there's any complaint, I mean, look, everyone gets some form of complaint in a business. It's doing really well with customer service. It can answer the call, it can handle things, it'll divert it into different areas, it'll divert it to different departments where the human is sat on the other end of it. And this is what I don't think people are realizing what AI can actually do is it cleans a lot up and it also gives a lot of consistency. And this is what I'm saying in a sales aspect, whether we'll eventually get to a point where it will do that full sale, I don't know. But personally, I think the way it works best is having them closes on the end of it. It's passing them through to that human to just, confirm all the information, really sell the last bit into it and close them, whether that's into a sale, into an appointment, into anything like that. And that's where we've seen huge uplift in AI in sales.
Do you think it will get to a point in sales where AI can do everything? Like it can get voices matched so perfectly that it can pick up the phone, it can call a lead, it can close them, it can collect money?
I mean, it already is doing most of that now. The only thing it's not doing, I think, the thing is what you've got to look at right now is if we're putting sales, you've got to put it into systems. You need the AI link into the system and stuff and things like that. Do I think that there'll be APIs and stuff that come in later on down the line for every single CRM and system you do with? We'll have that. Yes, I do. It's like we also use a system on the other side of the business called HubSpot.
Yeah.
HubSpot's just brought in its own AI, prospect hunting, its own AI, being able to send, emails and stuff out and reply to these emails and stuff. So on a business to business front, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But if you're looking at a consumer front, we've got dialer systems which has AI built obviously all into it. We have customer service, call center systems that has AI built into it. So when it dials in, it can, it'll greet them, and it reads off the word of the customer. But it also, what it does, it learns, which I think is one of the most impressive things is you don't just go, right, say this to this, say this to this, say this to that. It also, when it hits something that it hasn't been told what to do, it almost goes back into its memory to pull that answer and stuff out. And it's really, really cool,
100%.
cool system. And, this is one word of warning I'll say to anybody who is in business now. If you aren't trying now, you need to get on it.
Yeah. What would you say to the younger generation with AI? Because I think there's some people are worried about it, that they're not going to be able to have a job because it's going to take over. A lot of people are, trying to use it more, which is great. But I think, what would you say? Would you try and say to younger people to get on it now, or would you say for them to what would your advice kind of be to the younger
learn
generation?
every single aspect of AI? Even me, look, I'm 34 and I'm learning every aspect of AI I possibly can now, because if I don't, I won't have a business in 5 years.
No.
I know I won't. And I think especially being in Dubai over the last 6-7 months, and even previously before then when I was going over every 3 months, is when you're in places like Dubai and US and stuff, and these places are so much more advanced than the UK and certain other parts of the world, is if you don't get onto it, like, and you
You're gonna
don't
get
learn
left
every aspect, you will get left behind. Like, there'll be more millionaires made by AI in the next 5 years than there will be in any other sector in this world.
It's nuts, and I think it is going to go out of control at some point. It is. I do think that it's great and it's amazing for business, and I think this next sort of, if you look at how quickly it's gone in the last 5 years, it's nuts. I think from 2026 to 2030 is going to be the like mining time. Like, this is where if you put your head down, however old you are, and you grind and learn AI, and you use it in whatever way that could be AI content creation. You could create an AI influencer.
Yes.
It could be AI for your business. It could be AI to replace some of your stuff. Anything you want, I reckon by 2030, people will have made millions, if not billions.
100%.
But I think after that, depending on what happens, things could get out of control. It will get to a point where it's so developed, you can't tell what's real and fake.
Yeah.
I mean, already, as I say, with the photos...
I mean, I think there's some bits that are like that.
It's already
now.
like photos, as I said, with the stuff we're generating, you can't tell if it's real or fake. So what happens when people start, what happens when news channels start getting hold of that from a reputable source that sees, a crazy video that's generated with Sora, and they post it on BBC because they think it's real? That,
I mean, it's a touchy subject that right now, isn't it?
It's
BBC?
inevitably, yeah. Maybe not the BBC. Maybe like, I don't know, ITV or GB News, one of them. But people trust it, and when it isn't real, how are they going to know? Because inevitably, that is going to happen. 100%.
Well, I think this is what it is, and I think when it first came out and people were so worried about it at the start, they were on about stamping it, weren't they?
Yeah.
That was what it was. But someone has to stamp it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think it can get so realistic that unless someone doesn't stamp it, you are never ever, you won't know. I mean, there's some things I've seen. I mean, it's all over social media now in AI, and people are making videos and so on, where there is some stuff where it's like, is that real? Or
but now it's further than that, because it's not like, sometimes I'll see stuff that's like, for the last probably 6 months, it's been pretty crazy, where it's like, oh, is that real? And you're kind of looking at it, but you're like, I think it's AI, but it looks really real. Yeah. Now it's like, I wouldn't even think. Like, some of these photos I'm doing, I'm looking at them and I'm like, I'll scroll. Like, there was one that was from the guys that we were doing the AI stuff with the photos, and they actually had created. Well, I took this photo from Facebook and posted it on my page. Basically, it was a story, and it was really, really cool. It was like this girl, and she had a dog in her car, and she was pulled over by the police. And I took it and I posted it on mine. When we spoke to these guys, it was their photo that they generated, and I was like, that wasn't real, no. What? And like, that's what I mean. So now it's so far that I'm not even, and people aren't even second guessing and saying, is it AI? That's real. So when that then gets to mainstream TV channels and things, or, grandmas looking at it, it gets pretty scary, because, people aren't going to be able to tell what's real and fake. And, it has its positives and negatives, but
it does definitely have positives and negatives. And I think this is it from, we work in two different industries. Yeah. And well, I think we're both trying to do the same thing in the end, but in a different way. But you use AI very differently to the way I use AI.
Yeah.
And I think you use it very visually. And I think that's probably the harder way to prove if it's real.
Yeah.
The thing we've got, which is only voice currently at the moment, and you listen to these, I can create a sales pitch in any language, in any country, in this world, and you'd never know the difference whether it was a human or whether it was AI. Yeah. And I think it's scary, but I also think it's amazing at the same time. I think, especially in a very labor-led business like mine, I think yours business isn't as labor-led as mine. I've got 160 odd people. Yeah. The amount of sick days, the amount of people not turning in, the problems and stuff sometimes you have and things. And trust me, I love my people, and I love every single one of them. I know every single one of the names. I know what they get up to and stuff, because I really like to be involved with everyone, because I think your business is only as good as your team. Yeah. But I also think I wouldn't lose all the team, but I think it can definitely complement the team to make and almost cut some of the shit out of the team. Yeah. I think the biggest The biggest, I think, problem any business ever suffers with is people. They're the biggest problem that they have in their business. And I think this is where people need to learn, and this is what we said about learning AI now, is people, I think, especially in the UK, I'm not so worried too much, obviously, in certain places like Dubai, you know, where we've got office, because the people are hungry, and you know, I think there'll always be a place with hungry people in any business who want to. But I think this is the problem with the UK is people are scared of AI and obviously using it, but you're almost going to AI isn't going to kick you out of a job.
No, but your boss is for AI.
You know, yeah. But at the same time, I also think if you're not willing to learn and you're not willing to grow within the way a business is moving, you're going to kick yourself out the job.
Exactly. Yeah, and I agree with what you said there as well about people are the bigger thing. 100%. I think, again, and this goes to like the younger generation as well, which is everybody thinks, oh, running a business, glitz and glamour, Lambos, watches, fast cars. Like, it's not.
It's not.
There's problem after problem because you have, okay, so when you first start, you're on your own. Oh, I wish I could have a team member to help. No, I wish I could have clients. Wish I could have clients. Oh, first client comes on. Great, you've got money in, but now they're kicking off. What do you do? Oh, whatever. Oh, I wish I could have a team member. Oh, great. You bring a team member on, and then you get bigger problems because that team member's screwing about.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll bring another team member on. The other person's good. Now that person's shit. There's always someone who's not on the level you want them to be in a business, in the team, if not multiple.
Yes.
And you're always fighting fires.
100%.
And, you know, I think that you're never, ever going to be at a place where you go, everything is smooth.
Every person here is brilliant.
Or a team. It's either a client or someone in the team. There's no in between. It's either one or the other. Someone's not performing or a client's kicking off. What do you do?
It is. And that's what I'm saying. The only problem, I mean, look, I've been running the business for 5, coming up 6 years now. And the only problem I have ever had in the business is people. It just is. You know, every problem stems from a person. And I think this is what I go on about consistency. And I think this from a business, what AI can do for your business is give you that consistency that you're always feeding. You can almost as well as scale. You can scale so much quicker, so much more consistently because of AI. And I think we go back to, you know, like, trying to scale with people is like people can come in and they've had an argument with their partner the night before, and then they're going off the rails for a couple of weeks, and that project that they're dealing with now is falling behind. And you know, you've got people who are coming in, and especially in the industry I'm in, it's all about mindset. It's all about being positive all the time. It's all about, you know, you get one bad apple, it spoils the, you know, it spoils the whole of it.
Manipulation is a big thing. I don't know if you found that in your business at all, in terms of playing off against each other in the business. Do you get much of that in terms of?
As in what terms? Give me
in terms of, like, I know a lot of people that have businesses talk about the team playing off each other at times. You know, it'll be like one team member who can be manipulating you in a way, or another team member, or playing off each other in the team. Do you kind of get that? Or I guess, again, it kind of falls under the management side in a way, under having good management. But you're always going to have, like you say, the bad apples who are trying to
one bad apple rots the lot.
Exactly. One person that's trying to make themselves look good makes everybody else look bad, who is actually doing a good job, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, look, I work with a company full of sales guys. They're trying to manipulate. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, to a level. You know, but I when I first opened a business, I trusted everyone. We were all family. Like, I thought, you know, this is, we're going to do this together. Yeah. And I think over the years of business, I learned more and more not to trust people, because people do lie. They do manipulate. They like, there's some things I've seen over the years where I'm just like, fucking hell, man. Like, why am I doing this like anymore? Because there's people I put so much time into, and I think, so, like, you know, even money to help them out, you know, because they've been kicked out or something, and scratched their backs. And I think even courses that we put them on in the business, and they've ended up fucking off and leaving and stuff after it's cost us thousands of pounds in courses. And I think just egging, you know, pushing people to be better than themselves. And I think that's one thing I learned is you can't push somebody who doesn't want to be pushed. No. As much as you can tell, there's a difference between someone telling you yeah, I want to be here, and someone really wanting to be
Oh
there.
yeah, 100%. And you
Like-
can tell that with the work ethic. If
Actions speak
people-
louder than
they
words.
do. You've got people that, it's just a job.
Yeah.
Obviously, they'll put a lot of effort in the day, but it's like, right, 5 o'clock, boom, gone.
Yes.
And you then get people that will grind, and they will. It doesn't really matter. Obviously, they're working a job.
Yeah.
You want them to have downtime, and as a business owner, I'd never want to be like, oh, you have to stay till 10 at night.
Mm-hmm.
Never. But it's the initiative of, if something went wrong, they reply at 9 o'clock to the client.
Yeah.
That is what you look for, and you say, you're good. Like, that is what you look for. And we've had it before with people where they've taken the initiative. They might be away, but they've seen something that needed just a response, and they respond to it. It might be their day off. They don't need to be around, but they're not working. But if something needs sorting, they sort it. And that, I think, is the biggest thing in a business to
Huge.
know if you've got the right people. It's
Huge.
like, do you have someone who's just there for a simple 9 to 5 to make money, or do you have someone who wants to grow? Because it's the same. You probably have the similar in your business with salespeople, obviously, with how much they can earn and different things. But people can get to where they want to be as long as they can prove themselves and they can go up fast. And if people can put the work in, like we've had a lot of people who have smashed their work and really over the years put work in and work in and work in, and you say, there you go, reward. We're not going to sit there and say you're not having anything.
Yeah.
But when you get people that don't do anything, and they just
When
simply
they
go,
want
right,
the
I'm finishing here, and they go, oh, I want this.
Yeah.
And it's the same with clients. You get clients who are the same, who, the big clients who pay a lot, they know what they're paying for, they're chill. You probably have the same, and then, you're getting the money in, you're working, and you're doing a good job for them, and it's nice. You get the small ones who don't have any money, but they think, oh, £200 a month, oof, life-changing money that is.
And then they control the investment
and then they
as
control
well.
everything, and they think you are going to run their whole business for £200 a month, and you say, you can't even get a minimum wage person for under £2,000 a month. So how do you do that maths?
Yeah, literally. I say this to everybody. Like, do you think you're going to be very successful in life by just turning up at 2 minutes to 9 and leaving bang on 5?
Yeah.
Okay, because like I was getting fed carrots and not even. I was moving. Don't get me wrong. I moved for a company within 9 months to up to a senior project manager, but I was first in, last to leave every single day.
Yeah.
And even when I was given like shit and I was getting paid peanuts compared to what I should have been on, I was still doing it. I was still doing it. Because in my head, I knew that if I kept going and kept doing it and kept doing like I was doing it, I say this to even some of my guys, is like, if you think that just cutting off and going, right, I'm done for the day.
Yeah.
Bye. But yet you're sitting there saying you want this nice house and you want this and
it's not gonna
you ain't going to get it. Like, you really aren't going to get it.
Yeah, and I think that is the thing with the younger generation, as we were saying earlier. And, I want to touch a bit on advice and helping out the younger generation, because, as I say, I think there is there's a lot of different types of people, obviously, but it takes a certain person to want a lot more for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You've got people that want to, and I don't agree necessarily with what people say about, wages, 9 to 5, you're stuck in this and that. It's like, if people are happy with that, they're happy with it.
Yeah.
And I don't mind at all. Like, I've got family who, they don't make that much money. They're in a 9 to 5, but they're happy. And like, as you said earlier, if money doesn't buy happiness, I agree. I think, you can't force someone to do what they don't want to do. If someone is entrepreneurial, they will do it and they won't accept a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And if they are in a 9 to 5, they'll do anything to get out of it or get higher in the company. Like, we've had with people where they've been like, they don't stop working. Like, business partner in the States, like up till 1 a.m. every day, not getting paid because he's a share in the business. And like, that shows that is like, you want something. It doesn't matter if you're not making any money, but you're working 15 hours a day. You know what I mean? So I think, you can't.
I think he's
force
seeing the
someone,
bigger picture though as well, isn't it?
It is. It's seeing the bigger
I think that's
picture,
what he sees.
Yeah, a lot of people can't. I think in businesses where they might be on a decent role, but they don't. Like, we could say, look, take this risk. You're still getting paid, but do this extra time or whatever it might be, and you can have this. Some people don't want that, which is fine, as I say, because I think some people want the security of a role where they might have bills, they've got family they need to look after, overheads, which is completely understandable. And I think, taking a risk to start a business or spend more time on a business is a certain decision that a certain person has to make. It's not like anybody on earth does it, if you know what I mean. I think a lot of people who run businesses are quite similar as well, where we all have the same sort of way that our brain works. And, we are all a bit kind of scatty in certain areas. We want this, and everything has to be done now. I don't think I know anybody who anybody who runs a business that when they were younger was like, oh yeah, I'll just sit back and this will happen. It was like I want this to happen and it will happen eventually, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, I think you need to. I think obviously it's down to mindset, like you just say. You know, like there is. You've either got it or you don't.
Yeah.
Like I really do. But I think, like the last bit you said there, it's like, look, I did at a time think I was waiting round for something to hit me in the face and go, here you go. Do you know what I mean? Or something. But like, I mean, I came from I didn't have a job. I was running around the streets and doing naughty things. And like, but that mindset of mind change, I think you change that mindset. I mean, to be honest, I always had it.
Yeah.
I just wasn't channeling it in the right places.
But I think it sometimes takes a wake-up call, is the thing.
100%.
Sometimes it takes something to really slap you and say, oh shit, I need to do something now. And then it wakes that part of your mind up. I think everybody can do it. But as I say, it is a certain type of person, because some people do just want the security and they want to just be like, I'm safe here,
comfortable,
I'm earning a decent salary and I'm happy. And that is perfectly fine. You can't force someone who's in that position to say, you have to start a business. But people who want a business, they know.
Yeah, you do.
You do. Grind for it.
Yeah, you
pretty
do.
straight early.
Yeah, you do. You do. Yeah, 100%. Like, that's what I say. You have either got it or you don't have it. But I think it's people like peace, like comfort, and I think that's kind of what it is, which freaks me out. Like, if I'm honest, you know. But I think maybe that's because I've always had chaos in my life. I think growing up, but not only that, like I think I know where I'm going to go.
Yeah,
and to me, it's like one of them things is to me, I didn't know I was going to run the business I am running. Even now, I don't want to do this forever.
Yeah.
There's other things I play with and stuff as well. But I think to me, here's your start point, and here's my goal up here of, freedom and, eventually just not having to worry I mean, I don't think I'll ever retire, but I think when I can finally go, I've made it.
Yeah.
I think whatever you're doing between that, it's absolutely fucking irrelevant. Just turn up. Do you know what I mean? Just keep turning up and turning up. And I think that's, as you say about entrepreneurial mindsets and people who really want to go do something, I don't think everyone needs to know exactly what they want to do. I mean, when you started, did you know exactly this was the route you were going to go? You're going to sit in an office with the people you sit in an office with, or
I think I was, it just happened. I was always under the impression that I was going to be a musician, or then I wrote my book and everything like that, and then social media just happened, and I was like, oh, okay, and then musicians, working with them, and then this just kind of, it was like, oh, okay, and now I've done this, and now I'm going more into the stuff that I really want to do again on the US side with the celebrities and running social medias and management, because that's what I enjoy, it's what I'm good at, and I know that industry well. So I'm now at a point where it's like, this is what I always wanted to do, and I'm doing it. But as you say, the middle bit is like, you have to get to a certain level.
Yes.
And I think the one thing I'd always say to the younger generation as well is, you don't have to know straight away. Because again, with the pressure, a lot of people think, you're always asked in school, you probably were as well, teachers, parents, oh, what do you want to do when you're older? Oh, astronaut, teacher, whatever. It's like, you don't need to make your mind up until ages later. It will happen. Like, it will happen. If let's say you leave college and you go and get a job, you're going to find out if you love it or you hate it. If you hate it, you're going to leave, you're going to get something else, or you're going to start your own company. If you love it, you're going to work your way up the ranks and you're going to be happy. So people know, it's like, you don't need to worry when you're in school. Oh, what do I do? It's like, go to school, get your grades, leave, and just go with the flow. If you want to start something, you will anyway. So
yeah, hugely, and I think that's the thing, isn't it? Everyone thinks they have to have it planned out.
Yeah,
they have to have this step to go into this step to get that step. And guess what? That's not life. That will never ever happen. And in this way, I said, like, I didn't know I was going to do what I was going to do now.
No.
And do I know that this is a bit of a jump? This is going to be my next step to go on to something else, to probably do the more things that I really, really want to do. Like you've just mentioned there is, you've gone from, doing a bit with the musicians, social media fell on top of you. And I mean, you killed social media, do you know what I mean? So to now being able to put yourself into a position of really what you want to do. And that thing that you're really, really doing will probably explode you onto a different level because it's what you really want to do. And I think this is where a lot of people if people think if they're not doing what they really want to do now, then they're failing.
Yeah.
You know, and this is what I say is whatever you need to do to get there, just do, because then that's when you'll really, really explode yourself. And I think this is like, don't get me wrong, I love what I do now. I thrive off it, and I thrive off the sales, I thrive off the people, I thrive off the challenge. Like Dubai, just going to Dubai was like, the UK was not boring me, but I was dying, I think, a bit of the person. I was bored, like I was bored of it. You know, the business is running really well. I've got a great management team in there. Dubai took me to really start again.
Yeah.
It took me back. Start again. You've not the bones in your ass, but you're starting in a new country with new rules, new challenges, new clients and stuff. And it's almost like I'm back to the board. How do I make this work again? How can I make this thing? But I know, like we've took on a huge Saudi Arabian company. You know, they're worth billions. You know, they've got like 30 odd business underneath them. Like they're huge. They're going to do massive numbers for us. You know, we're in talks with some huge companies in the UAE as well. And like I know that this step here
is going to get you to that next.
Is going to get me to where I need to be.
Yeah.
And I know then, and even after then. Like, I'm already in talks. I want to potentially go tackle the US, you know? Yeah. And I just think after I've got US, we've got the UK, we've got Dubai, you're in three of the main
large company.
Main countries in the world. It's a very, very sellable asset to any business with call centers, you know, large clients and stuff inside of it. And I know from there, I can go do what I really, really want to do, which is, you know, go buy other businesses, fix them and stuff, and, you know, sit on boards and things, and actually just go do the things I want to do.
Yeah.
Spend more time with my son.
Exactly.
You know, and I think that's what a lot of people don't realize. I think about it. They think they've got to have this.
Yeah.
Get the Lamborghini, get the Ferrari. It's just So yeah.
What do you think about the phrase "do what you enjoy and the money will flow"?
Yes, I agree. I agree. I think with me, like as I said, I think earlier on is I chased money for so long, where I barely made any money.
Yeah.
The moment I started doing it don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it even when I was chasing money. Like I was just trying to chase to be somebody, if I'm honest. And I thought having money was that be somebody. So I think once we kind of. We got past the first year and stuff, and the second year of craft, I was really doing it, and I was enjoying doing it. Because I really didn't enjoy it in the second year.
No.
There was just so much shit that was going on, and I was kind of lost in myself in the business. I was, looking at other CEOs and what they were doing and stuff, and I actually ended up going backwards. And then until I went back to my roots and my way of doing it, we exploded. And I really started enjoying doing the business again. And, we did 3.5 mil because of it. But I strongly believe if you don't enjoy it, you won't be successful at it. No, you can't go to work every single day going, fuck's sake, I'm doing it. I'm going to work. I say it to all my guys in the office. The moment you wake up and you go, fuck's sake, I've got to go to work, don't come in. Right? Because you're not going to do what I need you to do, because you're coming in and you're not liking the job, and I think it's a huge thing to success is enjoy every minute that you do. And I think it's also, enjoy the journey.
Yeah, 100% I agree.
Enjoy
I think
the journey.
It's the same for not just people starting businesses, but for, as you say, people who are working in a business.
Yeah, just
enjoy
life.
it. It's like, you don't want people working in your business that hate it, do you?
No.
Because they're not going to do the job properly. Whereas if you have people that love what they do and they're doing it and they can get to ridiculously high levels. If someone's
huge.
on, 40K and they want 120 grand, if they can smash it every day and they're making the right amount of revenue, there's no reason why they can't have that.
100%.
But they've got to enjoy it and they've got to put the work in. So, you know what I mean? It's difficult, but I do agree with that phrase as well, where I think, everybody needs to do what they enjoy.
Yeah.
And even with starting a business, do what you enjoy, unless it involves AI, because then you can make a lot of money.
You
can just make a lot of money. But in general, do what you enjoy, whether that's, going into like police, law, going into being a teacher, whatever it is, just do what you enjoy, because it's better to be happy in what you do every day than have loads of money and be sad, I think. It is.
And I think a lot of people look at, I think a lot of people look at as well, as you say, like, do as you enjoy, and you do. And I think people a lot look at these social media people, these billionaires, of what they do and stuff. And I think that's how I need to be successful and be a billionaire, let's say.
Yeah.
And, you know, let's say you do want to have lots and lots of money, but I've got a friend who I went to school with. He's actually out in Dubai. I actually met up with him, hadn't spoken to him in over 18 years or something it was. Wow. Yeah, it's crazy. We were best friends in school.
Oh my God.
And literally met up, had a couple of beers and stuff, and we just started talking to each other about life stuff. And he went over there to be a teacher. And I think he went over there about 7-8 years ago or something to be a teacher.
Yeah.
And I think this is the difference, I think, between the way Dubai are educating to the way the UK are educating. So he teaches he was teaching, doing AI,
Really?
finance, and what was the other thing? I think business management or something, I think it was.
In school?
In school. So he's teaching these 3 subjects in school. He created like a full, scholarship or something around it, basically. So he was going around individually teaching things, and it blew off in Dubai. But from this, he's been teaching kids how to build AI games, games through AI, okay, while teaching them, and then teaching them finance. So they've been making games through AI, okay? And each game has a form of business and finance in it too. So it teaches them a thing.
Yeah.
But from this, he's now had meetings with games creators.
Really?
And he built this whole thing on Canva.
Oh my God.
Okay,
That's
like
nuts.
just teaching kids to now cracking a deal with this massive games company that built FIFA or something like that. Okay.
Oh my God.
To now turning this into his own business.
Yeah.
You know, just from teaching, and something that he really liked and really enjoyed, which is teaching kids, to teaching them about finance, business, and AI, to now creating his own business and stuff out of it, to now pushing this to other kids. And this is what I'm saying, like going back to do what you're enjoying. It's not always just saying...
will flow.
It's not always just saying that you have to do social media, you have to do all these things that are buzzwords and stuff right now. This guy, which I'm so impressed by, like, honestly, every time he exchanges me, he shows me his new game and stuff, and I'm in awe by it, because it's just something that he's just done to teach and help other kids and stuff that he's enjoyed is now. And I've said this could be a real good revenue business for himself.
100%.
And it's crazy. It's crazy, just from simple little things.
Wow. But no, I think as well, on what you were saying there, with the school thing is a big topic. And I think, I agree with that, where I don't know why, but I feel like in the UK, kids aren't taught the right things. If over there, you're saying they're being taught about AI, finance, business, that's great. Like, they're the things that we need to learn about in school. I mean, I don't understand how. So you come out of school in England, and you haven't learned anything about a mortgage. You haven't learned anything about loans and business. You haven't learned anything about money. What do? All you're learning is pi squared and bloody maths. It's like,
algebra.
It's like, when are you going to use that? Whereas, like, it's actually almost better to use a calculator. Like, learn to use a calculator. If they would said, look, this is how business works. This is how, rent and mortgage works and stuff like that. Use a calculator. Do it like this. It would actually teach people.
Yes, actually in the questions and stuff. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. I think it comes even down to they're not shifting with the way the world is shifting. I think it's even down to, I mean, this is a little bit off thingy, but I think it brings in the same example as, I remember they used to teach you to travel or through a map. Do you know what I mean? Like it was on a map, and you do a driving lesson to be able to follow signs. Yeah. Whereas now you don't do a driving lesson to follow signs. I mean, it's been a while since I've done my driving lesson, but it's now you follow a sat nav. Yeah. Because that's the way the world has moved. They've adapted to it.
It's the same. It's like what they've done with schools is like if your driving test was still done on a map. Yeah. It's like, okay, so let's, imagine driving tests were the same as school. It'd be like, right, you go for your lessons. You're getting in an old 2000s Polo with manual. You're not allowed to drive automatic, and you have to follow a map, a black and white map. It's like, that's what school's like though, because they haven't changed at all.
Yeah, it is. It's still so stuck, and I think that is the issue with. I mean, and I think this is going to be a bit of the downfall of the UK, and this is why we're so far behind from other countries. And to be honest, I haven't really thought about it that deeply. In the fact of the way we educate in the younger people is only going to affect, obviously, the next generations moving up. But the way every other country, well, the major countries like US and obviously Middle East and stuff right now, are moving so far ahead that I think we're potentially in the next 15, 20 years could be labelled as one of the thickest countries in the world.
Yeah, it's true. I think, the main thing that gets me is where, you've got your things like A-levels or, whatever. I think you don't learn anything at GCSE that's worth learning. You have to then pick it for an A-level. But some people don't do college. They don't do it. They go straight into an apprenticeship or whatever.
Yeah.
So how do you expect the 16 to 18-year-olds to then move out and get a house or even go to uni and, pay for rent? I've seen it firsthand with people where they're like, I'm clueless. I did business at A-level, taught me some stuff, but I've mainly learned it on my own. But, my mates now, they're like, oh, what do I do with this money I've got? And it's like, they don't know anything. Whereas they should be teaching us to invest. They should be teaching us about banks. You probably had one lesson on it in business in the whole flipping 2 years of college. It's like one lesson for, 18 years of your life in school, and you've learned 1 hour out of one day about something that you're going to use in the real world.
Yeah.
It's like everything else is pointless. Like business was the only subject where it was kind of useful, but I think they have started to do it in school, in some schools, as an actual like GCSE.
Yeah, okay.
But most aren't. And it's only you really see that in the States, in Dubai. The UK, as you say, is so far behind that most of those things aren't taught. And it's crazy.
No, they're not. And I think it's, I think they'll feel the absolute, detriment is going to cost the country in the next 10 to 20 years. Like it really will, because as I say, you're seeing these places in the world so far ahead. But this is the thing as well that you've actually got to think about is most of the families and stuff and most of the teachers and stuff over now in the Middle East and, even some places of America and stuff, they're coming from the UK. Yeah. They're taking their families over there.
That's what I mean. This is the point is I think it's going to be a really interesting next period.
Yeah.
Next decade, because the stuff that's happening in the UK all around is pushing people out. And all they keep doing every year is we're going to be raising VAT, we're going to be raising tax. Yep. They're just pushing the billionaires and millionaires away. Like I've seen thousands of millionaires have left in the last year.
Yes.
So what happens next week when the next autumn budget is?
Yeah.
Like it's insane. And what's going to happen is it is just going to push all the business people away to the point where they all go to Dubai in America and the UK is screwed. So I genuinely do not understand why. Like they say they've got this black hole of money that they need to make up and stuff. Okay, then let's work out how to do that. But if you tax people too much, you're not going to make anything because no one's going to pay for it. And if they do the wealth tax of billionaires, they're all going to leave.
Well, this is the thing, and I think, look, I don't really get too involved in politics and stuff over here anymore, but I think you've got these well-educated people that aren't really being educated because people who own businesses aren't stupid.
No.
Okay? So people who own businesses also aren't going to get robbed. They're not going to let people just take stuff from them. They've had to grind their absolute backsides off to get there. They're not just going to allow, just because of really a fuck up from the government itself, through certain things that have happened over the last 10, 15 years, just pave that price to them, and not when there's other incentives to go elsewhere where, you're getting 0% tax stuff. It's not that, what it is? It's not that even nobody wants to pay tax.
No.
It's the fact that the people who are putting more into this country through jobs, through VAT, through corporation tax, all these people that are actually putting the most into it are the people who are getting penalised for it. And it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
No I think that's the thing.
There's no incentive, but they're asking us to go, no, don't worry about it.
We're just going to raise it more.
We're going to raise it more. We'll keep paying people who are doing fuck all and sitting on the backsides doing nothing. We'll keep paying benefits to absolutely everybody we possibly can, which I agree there's benefits that need to be done. Like trust me, like there's people with disabilities, there's 100%. There's people, single mums who have been in a bad chat. Don't get me wrong, I think there is many out there that abuse it. But there is ones that have been left because someone's left them and they've been left in shit, and I think people do need to be helped out and stuff. But then we're also paying you know, I mean, I don't really know what we're going to, but a lot of asylum seekers that are coming in with
Yeah.
paying and putting up and stuff like that, and stuff. And like I'm not one to talk. You know, I'm over in Dubai trying to do things, but it's because of, I think the reason why a lot of people are leaving is because their money is getting washed into the wrong things.
Yeah, and there's no real narrative behind it of
No.
why. It's all just, oh yeah,
You've got to accept it.
It's like, just take it. And it's like, well, why am I going to take it if I can go here?
You know?
And like, as you say, it's not about paying 0%.
No.
Like, I'm more than happy to pay tax if the right things get sorted. So like, it's not, instead of housing 500 people, fix the road which has killed 2 people because there's potholes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like,
that's
it's
it.
the sort of things where they need to put money into the areas if they want to raise taxes. Like, I'm all for it. Like, if you want to raise business taxes and it's going towards this, go for it.
Yeah,
Like, no problem.
100%.
If it's going to make our country better, go for it. And I think, you know, that's the main thing with all of that. But I just think that it's another thing that's pushing people away, and it's another thing that's making
hugely
the
is.
UK go down, because there's so many things, like little things that are happening that's just knocking certain people. You've got, like, you know, even old people where they're, you know, oh, we're not giving you your winter fuel allowance or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's knocking them down. They're going to be annoyed. Okay, then you've got, you know, the business owners who are getting taxed for nothing. Oh, they're going down, and they're just going to move. And as you say, rich people are smart with money, so they're going to move away. And what everybody else says is, oh, let's just tax all the billionaires. You can't, because they're the most smart, where they just say,
Yeah, I know
oh,
what you mean.
okay, Elon Musk, I'm just going to funnel all this money into a property, pretend it's not mine, and then I pay nothing. And it's like, they're the ones that actually pay the least. Yes, they should pay more, but they know what they're doing with their money, that they don't have to. And that's where it does get a bit unfair, but they're smart with their money, and we all then kind of get shafted because of it in a way.
Yeah, it is, and I think there's another thing, like you just said there, is like tax all the billionaires and that, and this is coming from the people who, you know, maybe doesn't have as much money as other people, but like, I think it's very easy to say that, but like there's a number of these millionaires and billionaires who have come from zero
Yeah.
themselves, like me myself, do you know what I mean? And I think this is very, very easy. Like, I had nothing, and then now, you know, obviously we've got 2 offices in the UK, we've got 1 in Dubai. You know, I don't get me wrong, I pay my taxes here, obviously, like, out of the UK business and stuff, but I think it's very easy to sit there and say that, but if these people are jealous over these millionaires and billionaires, they could very easily do it themselves.
Yeah, I think that's.
I think
again,
today is the easiest time there's ever been to make money. And
it's
people
the
think it's
culture.
hard.
Again, it's the culture. It's a graft, and I think, you know, millionaire, billionaire, whatever. But to earn money, if you want to be free and be on your own and earn money, do it.
Yeah.
Like, there is a lot of people, as you say, who are sitting at home. Obviously, there's people who can't work, and that is completely fair, and they deserve what they're getting. But there is people that can work, and they just can't be bothered, and
Yeah, I
they genuinely,
agree.
and they own up and they say, I just can't be asked to work, but then will moan that they don't have any money. That's what I don't get, because it's like, okay, so you're fine. You're saying that you can work. It's not like people are saying you can work and you genuinely can't. You are owning up, saying I can work, but I don't want to. But then saying I don't have any money.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you want us to do about it? You know, I think that's the difficult thing. But again, these are all just little, like, nuggets, really, that I think are all pushing down people's perception of the UK and people's perception of living here. Because it's just, like, anybody I speak to in the US business or anywhere, they're all like, oh, I won't be going to the UK anytime soon, mate. I'm like,
Yeah, you
they
speak,
don't
you
want
speak
to.
to anybody anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, even I speak to people in Dubai.
Everyone says sorry. They're all like, sorry.
Yeah,
you're
I
there,
know.
mate.
Like, this is, whereas before it'd be proud to
Yeah.
be from Great Britain, from
Exactly.
England, and
It used
like,
to be a very proud thing to be British, and
now you
yeah,
talk to
it's-
people and like, bloody hell, you've got shit going on, haven't you? Do you know what I mean? Like, everybody has this now thing looking at, like, people are laughing at us.
Yeah.
Like, they generally are laughing at
Yeah.
us from being this such great nation to now being an absolute
I think it is a shame, and I just
laughingstock.
think
It's a massive shame.
it's hard to work out, because you don't want to give up on the UK. That's the thing.
No, I
like,
don't.
You know, I don't think going
My
around,
son's here. I've got family
No.
here.
and I don't think, you know, going around painting roundabouts is the right way to,
No, I mean, no.
to fix it. That's not really going to do anything, is it? But I think it's just hard to think what is the right stand, because, like, how do you? Because if everybody just leaves, they're screwed.
It's very screwed.
And the UK is
because the thing
done
is, the
for,
people
so-
who are leaving are the people with money.
yeah.
If the people with no money can't leave, unfortunately,
And then that's gonna
I
make the
think that's
UK
going to
worse
make it even
because
worse.
No one's paying tax, so they really need to think about what they want to do here.
Yeah, and I think that
is
kind of
difficult.
comes down to it. And I think, I mean, I just don't think I think a lot of the politicians are arguing over some of the wrong things as well. They're not actually looking into the real nitty gritty and of how we can actually put a solution in to save this. I mean, everyone has their own opinion on the solution of how to fix the UK, but I think, we don't actually know what's left actually in there and what's actually really going on behind closed doors.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm a big fan of Donald Trump. Do you know what I mean? Like, and what he's done in the US and stuff, and people have their own opinion and stuff, but he's a businessman and he's a very good businessman.
Yeah.
And what he's done, I think, even over there and changed the whole aspect of America and, bringing tariffs and stuff. Yes, a lot of people have mourned and they all kicked off and said he'd come crashing down. But he's been successful with it. The immigration and stuff over there and stuff as well. I think we need someone to come in and lead. That's
It is
our
interesting.
issue.
Yeah, I think across the world, you've got different people everywhere, really, and obviously everybody's going to have different opinions on whoever comes in. But I do feel like the current state and situation of the government is probably one of the worst I've seen. I don't
Worst
think
by far.
I don't think there's many people who say they're doing a great job.
I don't know. The
Like-
thing is, like it isn't. But I think this is the problem with the UK people is it was the same with Brexit.
Yeah,
We hadn't been there before, so let's go try it out. Okay, and
Yeah.
I think Brexit was the worst thing that this country ever did.
yeah,
They said it would save people money and do this and give us more, more of an economy internally and all these great things, and it did shit. And then stopped and loads of more traveling and stuff and things through Europe. And I think what happened with the Labour situation was exactly the same. I feel that we've had Conservative for so long. And then COVID came, and obviously, which was probably one of the hardest. I mean, I don't think anyone really wanted to be the prime minister at that time. You had to make decisions for the whole country,
Yeah.
and whichever one he picked was wrong, or everyone went against it. So I think when Labour was there, it was kind of, oh well, we haven't had Labour for a very long time. Let's try it out. Well, don't they all fucking regret it now? And I think this is. I think it's been the worst state this country has been in. I mean, look, I'm 34, than I think it's ever been.
yeah.
Probably through my lifetime.
What would you say to the younger generation who are wanting to start business in the UK or who are growing up? What would be the advice you'd kind of give to people?
I never want to tell people to not create a business in the UK. I think it's because I think the UK needs as much help as it possibly can, really, if I'm honest. But I think advice to the thing is, younger people making businesses and stuff now, it's very different to how like I made a business. Let's say well 5-6 years ago when I did it. And even 10 years before then was very different, and 5 and 6 so much.
100%.
Now it's very digital. Now it's very, very heavily digital, socials, website, this, that, everything like that. And I think it's very easy, like AI, do you know what I mean? Like you don't even need staff anymore. If you really want to, you can go create AI to go make a lot of websites and flog them. You can go chasing a lot of businesses on Google who don't have a website and go make a website for them for £1,000, £500 and get AI to make it. Do you know what I mean? You can make a lot of money very quickly. But would I advise them to keep the money in the country right now in the current state? Probably not.
That's interesting. Do you think Dubai is one of the best places at the moment for business?
I think at the moment, yes. I think this is why all the big brands, this is why everyone's going there. I think this is, I'd say 8,000 millionaires went there in the last 2 years from UK.
Yeah.
I think right now it's the place to be. Is it going to change? Yes. I think it might even go into Jeddah and Riyadh and other places. I think the Middle East as a whole is the up and coming place.
It is.
I also think there's parts of the US
Yeah.
as well. That there is. Like that's how I want to go tackle it next. I think it's
100%.
but I don't think here is.
No. So to finish off, what is the one phrase that has always helped you, or the one phrase that you would tell to your younger self or to someone starting a business? One short phrase or tagline, whatever it can be, that, you know, changed you as a person.
I think I've said it many a times. When it's scary to jump, jump. 'Cause if not, you'll stay in the same place forever. And I think that is the biggest one,
Yeah.
because too many people are scared to jump.
Love it.